Anytime you're doing a walkout, it is structured, and you really have to hire the people that know what they're doing.
We started looking for contractors, and a friend of the family said he could do a great job for us.
Once he started the job, we found out that he wasn't here a lot, and everything was a rush, rush, rush.
It's supposed to be a 10-inch block foundation wall, and from what I see, I think it's an 8-inch.
8-inch block won't hold up that lateral weight from behind this wall, that's for sure.
Now it's becoming dangerous. It's got to come down, the whole thing. Did they actually do this roof?
No, we didn't.
You want a good job? Handshake? Good contractor. I don't know my job.
We moved in here about 8 years ago. 4 years ago, we decided to turn the basement into a rec room for the kids. So we decided a walkout would be nice to come out to the pool. And we hired a friend of a nephew. We explained to him what we wanted. So he started to do this. But once he started the job, we found out that he wasn't here a lot, and everything was a rush, rush, rush. And a couple of his people he had working, I don't think they're 18 years old. Consequently, this is what happened. What concerned me was his lack of time on the job, where his helpers were here a lot, and they didn't seem to be too supervised.
Anytime you're doing a walkout, it is structured, and you really have to hire the people that know what they're doing. In this case, the appearances are beautiful. The man knows how to brick. He's meticulous. But I also heard that he's hired a couple of young guys and was unable to oversee them. Problem.
We started looking for contractors, and a friend of the family said he could do a great job for us, and he came out and we talked about it, and he gave us a quote, did the drawings. He went to City Hall, got us a permit, and we were set. He did the job, and it looked very, very nice. The first year we were very pleased.
They got a permit. Something went wrong somewhere. Something was missed. This wall should not be falling in. We're going to find out why, and then we're going to make it right. Linda, Joe, nice to see you again.
Nice to see you.
How you doing? Not so bad. I hear it's actually getting worse back there.
It is. The wall is bending more.
That's not a good sign. Let's go take a look.
Okay.
Is it the water, the penetration within the wall? Is it the structure in itself? Is it an 8-inch block instead of a 10? We're going to find that out. This is actually getting quite dangerous. Probably within a year, that's going to cave in. And that's not a good thing. This is extremely dangerous. My God, we got to be a foot leaning in 12 inches. That's quite a bit. The drain's good. He's got a good slope. We do see water coming from underneath at this point here and trailing down. Also appears to be bleeding through the stairs. We don't want to see the water here like that. That means it's coming from under the wall. That's not a good sign. So when you called him back, did he come back in?
Yeah, he came back, had a look. You know, it wasn't out this much. A little bit, not much. There were some of these cracks, and he filled those. After the first winter, after he straightened it, it looked good. But then after we went through another winter, then it was the same but more exaggerated, a little bit worse again. And we phoned him up and he said, sorry, that there must be underground spring, who knows, but it was clearly not his responsibility and nothing to do with him, and basically told us to go whistle. So.
Well, he does great angel stone and great brickwork. I'm really impressed with that. However, structure maybe not his forte. Do you have architectural drawings?
Yeah, we do. We have plans.
This is good. You even have pictures. That's what I want to see. I encourage that with everybody, to make sure we take pictures before, during, and after. That looks like an 8-inch cinder block. That's what the plans say. 8-inch pork foundation is fine, but not cinder block. 10-inch concrete block. I don't think that's 10-inch. Did the inspector pass this? Did he see that block before he closed it in? You don't know?
I don't know. I wasn't here.
Do you know?
I'm not sure.
I have a feeling he did not. It looks like an 8-inch cinder block and not a 10-inch. And if that's the case, something was missed here. Inspectors can't see everything all the time. I don't want to blame them at all. It would be up to the contractor to make sure that he follows the architectural drawings. We're sinking down now with the interlocking stone, aren't we? This is a structure issue, as well as we're having water penetrate the wall rather than being reflected and knocked down into the weeping tile. It's building up, and we're getting a freezing and a heave here.
The day they were tarring the wall, they arrived, and he actually had 3 students here, high school students, to do it. So I went out to do some shopping for a couple hours. I came back, and I said, well, where's the kids? And he said, oh, they're covered in tar. They're gone. So I don't even know if the wall was properly waterproof.
The inspector has to see that before it's closed in. He wants to make sure the water tight is correct. He wants to make sure the weeping is correct with the 3/4 crushed stone, build up for the drainage at the bottom. But it appears that they closed it in before the inspector could see it. This has got to come down, the whole thing.
We left it up to him. We thought he knew what he was doing.
It's become a danger. It has to come down and it has to be replaced.
Any future contracting is going to be far more diligent.
I'm going to try very hard to save your stairs. The last thing I want to do is actually break that out and redo the stairs.
We'll do a 5-year holdback.
Yeah.
There's no repairing this.
He said, yes, it should be just last a lifetime.
There's a problem. That wall's coming in. Why is it coming in? We're not going to know until we open that up. We're going to be digging. We're going to be pulling it all up by hand. There's going to be no tractor going in there.
We left it up to him. We thought he knew what he was doing.
We got a permit. Something went wrong somewhere. We're going to take it down, find out what he did do wrong, and then we're going to make it right.
Hey, Mike.
John, how you doing?
Not bad. How about yourself?
Nice to see you. Good. We have a little issue here.
Ooh, yeah. Holy cow.
That's supposed to be a 10-inch block foundation wall, and from what I see, I think it's an 8-inch.
8-inch block won't hold up that lateral weight from behind this wall, that's for sure. I'm wondering if there has been any underpinning done on this wall. The foundation should be 4 feet deeper than what we're standing on here right
At
now.
this point.
Because this becomes the new frost level when it's exposed.
We see the green moss in here, which tells
Yeah.
us we see the water coming in. We have an issue with water as well.
Yeah. Well, I guess all you can do is get it open. We'll check the weeping tile, the underpinning, see what caused it. And
Away we go. Well, John, this is what you're good at, and that's why you're here. Let's get going, I'll give you a hand.
hard with stone, once you take it up, it never goes back the same. But if you make a few diagrams, it helps you a lot. For the most part, she'll go back together just as it is.
We're going to shore up the inside of the wall, brace it back against the existing wall so it does not cave in. The idea here is to relieve the pressure on this wall before we start taking it down. That's why I'm just working on this area to pull it out and slowly start taking it down. You know, we don't want anybody to get hurt here. We're going to take our time and do it nice and safe. What do we see? Exactly what the plans don't say. 8-inch block. He's built it up so much with the angel stone. Look at that. He's got, Jesus, that's got to be 6 inches to the outside of the angel stone. Instead of using a 10-inch block, he used the 8-inch. He built out the angel stone.
That's why they make blocks in different sizes for different applications.
And not to mention, this is right on the plans, 10-inch block.
Sure.
Well, we are seeing the tar here.
Yeah, but he just damp-proofed the block itself. There should have been a parging course over top of the block.
When you're using a cinder block, it's not a poured foundation, so water can get through all your joints, is the point. It will bleed through it. When we have freezing in the winter, what happens is everything expands, even your ground. So if it has anywhere to push and move, it's going to, and it pushed this way. 8.5 feet high, ground, water going against it, lots of force. And once this starts going, there's nothing stopping it.
I think there's something wrong with the weeping tile here.
So we have no choice but to go all the way around this.
Yeah, that's really...
Yeah, you see that? That means it's holding water. We're going to make sure it's a watertight product all the way around. I don't want minimum coat, I want a medium or a maximum coat. So we'll go with 12-inch cinder block here. We'll watertight it from the outside. We'll inspect this further right down to the bottom on the inside as well. Shame on this guy. This is beautiful brickwork, beautiful angel stone. He's got plans of 10-inch block. What's underneath it? Incorrect. You know, it's inexcusable. Even their layers, not enough of it. This is acceptable. There's nothing here. Nothing here. You can see they're touching. Nothing on the outside, no parging, not even an adequate liquid tar at all. Just take a look and see how bad this is out. We're seeing almost 7 inches. Only in the last 2 years, I don't think this would last another season whatsoever. So they did the stairs. This appears to be correct. This is the depth here. So we're fine here. We're not going to dig any more on this side. Well, it's no easy job taking this down. We're in day 3, but within the next hour or two, we'll have this completely exposed down to the footings. We're going to dig this up. We're going to make a mess, but by the end of it, you won't even know we were here. We can see not only did she shift on the top, but the ground had actually pushed it out over this lip. Now, it doesn't surprise me because a lot of the block that I see with the mortar, very poor ass job. We can see it very clear, eh? This is obviously pushed in. Why is it pushed in? There's no mortar. I'm not seeing any stone. I want to see the 3/4 crushed stone, at least 2 feet of it, down near the weeping tile. So we have plenty of drainage. It shows we have no drainage here. The guys found the weeping tile. So they did put in the weeper. It has no sock coverage to keep the earth out. I guess they just did this with their shovel, but look at the amount of 3/4 crush they have in here. It should be right up, it should be right out, right up to here, so that when that water gets in there, it keeps it nice and clean. No wonder we see the green moss on the other side of the wall. It's just bleeding right through the wall. But at least they have a weeping. It's just not adequate. It's not the way we do this.
Problem right from the get-go. Weeping tile is blocked right the way through. That's why she's not draining very adequate, that's for sure. And it's only been in here for 2 years. This weeping tile is probably about 8 cents less than the weeping tile with the filter cloth on it. And that's exactly what the filter cloth is for. It goes in there like mud, and when it settles, it becomes very, very dense. And it blocks up all the holes that are there specifically to let water in.
The homeowners did a very smart thing. They took a video of the original construction. John, let's take a look.
Yeah, you see the depth of the concrete there?
Yeah. Yeah, the footings look very sufficient. I think we can work with that. We'll get in some weeping tile and drain off the water. Extremely handy she has this video.
Absolutely. There we go. Okay, can we get her right in? Yeah, right, almost right in there. Hang on a second. Go ahead. Absolutely.
We're going to end up with about 2-3 feet of this.
We're going to put in at least another foot.
Good.
The only reason I'm putting this in is just to keep our weeping tile clean. While we're working on this, there will be guys tracking back and forth here.
Oh, sure beats standing amok, doesn't it?
Well, the weeping tile was just totally covered with dirt. There was a little bit of gravel on the side of the weeping tile.
That was their mistake. Not enough stone. Should have been a sock on it.
Absolutely.
This is exactly why we supported it and took the pressure off, because this was just going to fall down. I can't even believe that stuff stayed on the wall. I mean, that's a very bad mix. It's like a sand-cement mix.
Sand and Elmer's
3 parts sand, 1 part cement. It's not holding anything. Oh, this is coming apart way too easy. Way too, nothing's holding, not mortar in between the blocks. You know, when you use proper cement mix, proper concrete methods, this stuff is strong. But not the way they mixed it, let me tell you. We're taking it apart with our bare hands. And a wall comes tumbling down.
There we go.
John was saying that he believes this would have fallen in by the end of August, and the mortar's not even holding anything. I'm surprised it held this long. Day 4, out with the old and in with the new. We're just cleaning out the last minute things here, getting ready to lay in the 12-inch block. The original plan showed a 10-inch block. They only used 8, the dummies. I'm going to put in 12-inch. It's much stronger. We've exposed everything. They actually had a 12-inch block at the bottom base here. Go figure. My guess is the inspector came in, he sees the 12-inch block on the baseline right across to the bottom door here and lets it go. He had 2 inches of concrete fill within here, then the angel stone, and an 8-inch block. So what we want to do is bring our 12-inch block right into the door. We'll seal that really nice and tight to the door. You'll see the difference once we put this wall up, just showing how to do this the right way. Giuseppe here, he's a pro, man. He's been doing this for 40 years. I notice he's using corner blocks here. It's just an interlocking brace system. What they do, staggered on each row? Is that the idea?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Comes around each way and really gives a lot of structural strength to the wall itself.
I noticed they fill in between the blocks.
Yes, especially on the bottom course.
Again, that would be a locking
That
system.
just stops it from shifting around down there.
Man, I love seeing pros work. Joe's just getting ready to put in the block, which we did not see the other guys use. This is extremely smart, and all it does is lock all the blocking system together, and it also helps it from swaying inside. The idea is to put it every 2 courses, in other words, every 2 rows of block, and what that's going to do is uniform and lock in even better than just standard block in itself. That doesn't cost a lot of money, and these little extra things we do make it incredibly strong. 12-inch block over an 8-inch block. Minimum code is 10. Let's go 12. It's a trick. You put a $5 bill around the string, wrapped it, and put a stone on it, and that holds it in place. Very smart. Not only is he just, making sure that all his mortar's correct, each and every block he lays, he's got the level on it, every angle, trueness, levelness. Now look at that. He's just taking his time. He's making sure everything is perfect. He cares about what he does. Plenty of mortar in between all the joints. What a pro. What I'm used to seeing is they stagger the joints, and again, it works, and a lot of masonry guys really just want to interlock them. But this corner blocking system is honestly better, and it really should be introduced a lot more. On the money. On the money. I got it. They're going to completely parge the outside of this. So the whole thing is going to be parged, then it'll be tarred, then a secondary membrane's going on top of this, which will be the plantain. That'll be right down to the weeping tile so that when water does come against this, and we know it's going to, it'll direct it to the weeping tile. It will no longer infiltrate this wall at all, and you won't see any green moss growing on the inside of this. We're at day 5 here, and what John has done is he's got all the parging up. It's a type S, and it's the product. It's not just your standard Portland cement. It's meant for foundation coating. Now that it's parged, we put up a primer-based coating, which now seals the parge as well as adheres the new product that we want to put up. So we're going to put up some Hydro Shield. This requires 2 coats. First coat of Hydro Shield across it, a mesh over top of it, which will be a fiberglass mesh.
We do this on every application of the foundation that we put in. Makes it just like a car tire, just like a rubber tire. Fiberglass gives it the elasticity to move without breaking open. It really does become part of the rubberized membrane itself. And then it gets one more coat right over top of that, just like Stevie's doing down below there. He's on the second coat now. The reason for putting on the thin layer of poly is to keep the membrane behind it clean. And if you ever do have to come back, it's quite easy to open it up and peel it off and have a nice clean surface to see what the problem was.
On top of that, we're going to put up the dimpled plantain product. It carries the fiber mesh on the outside, which helps wick the water from the top right down to the weeping and avoid the wall.
The idea of this Terrafix being on this drainage board with the dimples out is that when the water does come, it will come right up against this cloth, filter through this cloth, and right down the outside of this drainage board. At the bottom, we'll trim it off, and then we'll fill it up with gravel so that there's a good amount of this drainage board exposed to a gravel bed down there, and it just gives it that continuous drainage that we need right to the weeping tile.
12-inch cinder block, parge course, primer, membrane, drainage board, weeping tile with soft coverage, and 2 feet of 3/4 crushed stone. And that's how to build a wall that'll stand the test of time. Now we can backfill it and get to work on making it look like we were never here. Joe Linda, come on out here.
Wow.
Dramatic.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Totally secure. Nothing's going to
Wow, I
fall
love
on
the
anyone.
finish on the wall.
Joe, you love your job, don't you? It shows.
10 years old.
10 years old. We don't have enough pros out there. We need more education.
So you get it.
Last day. Joe's putting in the capping stones there. I'm going to bring the interlocking stone guys in and get the rest of the pavers in place. It's starting to look good. Because the earth we dug up was so saturated with water, we're only putting the stones in temporarily. That way they can enjoy it for the summer. In the fall, when it settles, we'll come back in and fix it. Anthony.
Nice to see you again.
So cinder block, any issues?
No, what we're going to put is a fiber mesh over top of it. We want to secure the fact that if there's any structural movement, it's not going to telegraph through our finish. So we're going to skim, put the mesh on, and reskim all at the same time. I've embodied the mesh in between the prep coat. This way, once the prep coat is completely covered, we will come back once it's dry, sand off all the high points. This will make it nice and flat, and then we put the top coat over top of it. Our top coat is an exterior 100% acrylic finish. It's embodied with sand or marble chips. It's also elastomeric.
It's flexible. Yes, I recommended this to the homeowner because the engine stone is going to work. There is no room for movement. If water gets in behind it, freezes, pushes it out, now you're going to be pulling down probably $2,000 worth of angel stone. But with this, it allows movement without any damage. Joel, Linda, ready to see?
Hey, Mike.
How you doing?
Good to see you.
Come on out here. Well, you know what? It doesn't really look a ton different now, does it?
Oh, yeah?
Dramatic.
Fabulous.
You think it looks dramatic?
Dramatic.
Absolutely gorgeous.
So I was worried about the stairs, and the idea was to dig it down, and hopefully I did not have to replace them. Sure enough, the stairs are correct. That's why we don't see problems with them. However, what I did notice when we took this wall out was there was only 8-inch block. So that was a feeling that I had. Not to mention, I also felt that it was not watertight on this side. Anytime water penetrates it, freezes on this side, everything will push out. Even the ground will push this out. Main problem, water. So we took it all down. We installed brand new 12-inch blocks all the way up, and we have a double membrane on this wall. In between two coats, we have a mesh on that, and that gives you a first membrane section. And then we used another product with a fabric on one side. And the idea is when the water does get down there, the fabric grabs the water, brings it right down to the weeping, and never allows it to penetrate the wall. So we never have a water buildup here. Now, we do have issues. Obviously, we had very wet clay here. It's actually drying out right now, but they will have to come back. I don't want anybody surprised. It's going to be an expected thing. The man had talent. There was no doubt about it. He was great at finishing, but it's just another guy cutting corners, not worrying about what's behind everything. And look what happens. The angel stone is really nice, but not on an outside wall, only on an inside wall when I put it. If there's ever water penetration from the top or anything, it's only going to freeze and pop it off.
This is beautiful.
It works, eh? And it's not too coarse that you're going to get hurt if you bump up against it. So for me, it does work. Let's do it right. It doesn't hurt to overkill something. Minimum code requirement in my mind, in my eyes, is not enough. I want to do a little bit more. I want to do a medium code at least.
Thank you.
Awesome.
My pleasure. My
Thank you so
absolute
much.
pleasure.
Thank
My
you
pleasure.
so very much. My hero. My hero. Thank you so much.
Oh, you are
It's
so
wonderful.
welcome. It works. It looks good. Linda and Joe, I think they're happy. I notice the guys are. What are they doing up there? Oh, we're just sitting relaxing. Thanks, pal. Thanks, pal. Cheers. Good work.
Okay, who wants great?
I'm gonna have to have pizza.
A hot one, Mike?
Thank you.
What a guy.
Beautiful weather. Pool, patio, beer, food. Yeah, I'm in. Cheers, everyone. Pleasure meeting you.
All right.
Pleasure meeting
Well
everybody.
done.
Well done.
Great crew, on time, with
Fabulous.
everything they need.